Welcome, everyone, to the 67th episode of the Tempest Gamecast.
Wow.
We're happy to have you join us tonight. Yeah, 67.
Time flies.
Yeah. I am your host, Grivian. I'm joined by my co-host, Harper.
Hello.
And Chap.
How's it going?
So how was you guys' week? It's a good week of gaming. It's supposed to be a good week of gaming. It's a lot.
It was good and very sleep deprived. So, yeah, it was fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, I had a
what
good
would you
week
do
too.
this week? How was your week, Chap? What'd you do?
Well, we launched Final Fantasy. I had a good weekend of gaming when we could get the game up and running. So, yeah, we'll get more into that in a little bit.
All right. And Harper, you sleep deprived, so.
It was fantastic, though. It was great. I had a really good weekend. So.
Very nice, very nice. Yep, I did lots of rifting and did some Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Did some Ion. And did some NCAA football and all kinds of stuff on that. By the way, I finished the Guild Challenge in the second season somehow. I played Navy.
Wow.
In my second season. I finished the season ranked 13th.
Oh, sweet. Good job.
It helps when you beat number 3 Notre Dame, number 10 Army,
Wow.
and number 11 Louisiana University or something like that.
Nice.
Oh. Yeah, it was awesome. Number 1 rush defense. I can't wait to play Isaac and Madden. Was it? The opposing teams averaged 59 yards against me.
You guys will have to stream it.
Yes.
Yeah, well, we were hoping
and the commentary,
we'd get enough people
too.
who played it. Yeah, that's a little more difficult with the Xbox. He might be able to capture it, though, because I know he does that stuff. So
Yeah, I bet he
cool.
could.
Yeah. All right, cool. Let's get into major games. We're going to start with Final Fantasy right after the trailer bumper. Before we get started, I just want to say, as I'm watching the video of the Guild Wars 2 and the Dragon coming in, so how epic it is, and it's like, this is major gaming now, and now we've got Final Fantasy and Rift, and I only have the logo there. I'm like, okay, obviously have to upgrade.
You're going to
the video
have to
put all three
redo
things
that
in
one,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll have
Yeah,
to get you
so-
some clips.
I was thinking of putting some epic Final Fantasy video clips in there. Things like the server is up. You can log in.
Yeah. You should put that video that
Came to me
Mocker
right then, I
posted
said-
with the German kid freaking out.
Oh yeah, that would be good. All right, let's start with
awesome.
Final Fantasy. The new
Yes.
game, Major Branch. Congrats to you, Chap, on Guild Lead now. Official Guild Lead that you guys have been working your butts off for a couple months. And to Quist and Airhammer and Rev for your backup support there as the officers. So,
Yeah.
let's start with you.
All right, so early access is here, although it seems to have some complications. The game itself looks like what SE wanted to deliver, however, there's some serious server issues. Players from the start of about Sunday afternoon experienced a serious problem with the Duty Finder, which led to server shutdowns. After about 36 hours and 3 reboots later, around afternoon on Sunday, I myself experienced a game that was very stable and working as intended because SE introduced server throttle. This is to keep the servers at a desirable number for them. Also, an apology was issued today from the director of the game to address what they believe is the best solution for now, which is to throttle the server. So basically, you're not standing in line, you don't have a queue, you're just kind of waiting until the server becomes undone. So it's a bunch of hit play, and then you might get into a small queue, and then you get into the game.
Yeah, I'm not sure I like that, though.
Yeah, I would
For a
prefer.
subscription,
I mean, I see their point, and it is a temporary solution to possibly a temporary problem. We all know how launches are. Everyone's
Yeah.
playing, and then about a month later, they all like phase out, or
Right.
half the people stop playing. We've all been through this, so the problem is kind of temporary. But I don't think that this is going to work to increase the good feelings toward the game. A lot of people love the game but have negative attitudes. Like, there were so many grumpy people in TeamSpeak this evening that I was like, okay, poor
we
guy,
have a third grumpy channel now.
well, we should have. And I don't blame people because I consider myself
No.
very lucky
But,
that I got in.
you know-
I had issues on Sunday for a couple of hours, and I was feeling the heat. But I kept busy, so I wouldn't be all like, "Err." But some person said that he actually wound up doing laundry because he wasn't planning on having the time, so he got some housework done. But it's just aggravating because they're trying to find a solution to the problem. I think queues are a way to go, and the reason why is because your number in line. You can go away, like Tasty Euros was saying, you can go away, get coffee, come back, see what number you are. You can go away again. So it's not this constant, let me hit play, let me see if I can go in. I like that better. That's just my opinion. So I don't know. What do y'all think?
I think it's a real temporary fix to the problem, and I think the reason they're not introducing the server queues is because I think that would take another leg of programming to introduce. I think this was a real short-term fix, and gamers can have a glass empty or glass half full kind of approach to this. I've been severely affected.
Yes, you have.
And I did not get to hardly participate in Phase 4. I barely got any early access done. Luckily, Sunday afternoon, I finally got some good game time in, and I'm a glass half full kind of guy.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the fact that all the game mechanics in place are working as they intended. They don't have 37 fires to put out. They have 1 fire to put out. And the server thing is almost an issue every single time a game launches because you can't anticipate what that kind of load is going to do regardless of how many betas I don't think they plan on having a server wait in line queue permanently, so I think the temporary fix is to just make people push the play button over and over again. I don't foresee this being a problem, and the reason I don't is because how upfront and honest they've been about every server maintenance they've done. Every single one of them has been on time, and they've been on early from when the deadline they said they were going to close it. And they've also been very revealing about what is actually going on. And if you pay attention to the Twitter channels, Reddit, and all the forums, Square Enix is letting us know every step of the way, hey, this is what's going on. We're sorry for the issues. And I don't have a problem with the way they're handling business. I think it's great. I think I think you can look at it a lot of different ways.
I think they're trying to do their best, is my opinion.
Absolutely.
I think they're doing the best to make it work. But the only thing that bothers me about this whole thing is they had to know how many people were going to be flooding the servers. They know how many people bought the game. Yeah. That cannot be a surprise to them. That is my only gripe.
What Chap was saying on that was, it's cool to say 50,000 people are going to go on this server but if there were never 50,000 on the beta, it's never been tested. I understand that part.
I'm not a server guy. I don't know what it takes to run one. I just know that from what they've been relaying to us through the messages is they honestly had no idea that the game was going to be this popular, and they have a population problem. That's what they're relaying to us. So that's obviously got to be what it is.
It's a good problem to have.
But I think the other issue that's behind this is, yes, gamers, MMO gamers, we understand this. We've gone to it, especially in the last couple of years. Star Wars was freaking thousands of being in queue, as was every game that's launched. And we understand that as MMO players. I think the problem people are having is that this is their second try. I mean, second launch.
And I get that too, but here's my take on it. Personally, my take on it is you have two kinds of mindsets when it comes into these games, and unfortunately for these companies, MMO companies are dealing with this hive and locust mentality where players go in, they suck out the content, and then before their free trial or whatever's up, they get out of the game. I know, my tip of the week last week was long-term outlooks. I know this is a game, I'm a big fan of it, and I'm here for the long haul, and I know this isn't going to be an issue for me through the long haul. If this deters some of those locust players from playing on my server, great. Bye-bye. See you later.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. I mean, I am definitely not like the bandwagon girl. I'm a realist with how things go. And
Wait, what?
I'm not a bandwagon girl. No, I am not.
Can you list all your games for the last 2 years?
Yes, whatever. Anyways, let me move on. I have a point to make.
Okay.
I'm trying to be very fair about this. Yeah, I mean, there are frustrating times, but overall, I think they're doing their very best, and I really believe that. And the only thing I do feel bad about, especially, is like the people like Quist and some other people who paid bought another game
Yeah.
just to have the early access because they were legacy players. So they paid for that early access. They barely got 3 days.
And
They were
I honestly,
supposedly told that they would have a week, and that was cut down to 3 days. And then most of those people didn't get to play for maybe a day and a half. So I kind of feel bad for them because they're left out paying that extra money and not getting their return, in my opinion. But I don't know.
and we'll have to see down the pipeline, you know, and not even for me, but for those players, the players that you mentioned, the legacy players who had to pay the extra money. I hope they get compensated.
They
I
should
think they
because
deserve
they've
it.
been
Yeah.
the diehard
No, I agree.
fans that they're not fair weather fans. They've been here through thick and thin, and I think they need to be applauded in a big way as far as the trouble they've gone through and what's happened to them this weekend. So that's how I feel.
Cool. So now that we've dissected the news, how about this week in Tempest?
Well, you know, on a positive note, the game introduced some new mechanics and the job requirements for each class. We were only 3 days in, and we were kind of figuring out what SE had planned for us. Just before I got into the podcast, I just read an article from PlayStation Magazine, I think is the source. Yoshi did an interview today that say they're going to be on a 3-month content cycle, and along with expansions. So that's something we can look forward to. They said they're going to have some major content for us every 3 months. I know that probably everybody's going, well, I know they got 3 months, but you know, is it going to be right? You know, whatever. So I think that's good news. I think a 3-month cycle is great. This week in Tempest, Tempest showed up in strong force, and we did
Yeah.
not disappoint SE as much as SE disappointed us. The weekend, despite having some severe server issues, most players pressed on, and we ended up with around 60. I think when I closed out today, we were more closer to 70 members. We averaged about 30 members constant at all time, and we actually achieved rank 5 out of 5. So we're actually, the guild's leveled up as
Wow.
high as it can go. And the ranks include, you know, you can change your crest, and you can buy, with achievement points, basically you can purchase in-game buffs. So right now we have an experience buff on for everybody. We also plan to do crafting days where we're open up the crafting buff to everybody and
Yeah.
let them craft away.
Oh, nice.
And a few members had enough time to unlock their jobs, which is a level 30 primary class and a
Yeah.
level 15 subclass. I'm really close to mine. I'm getting there. So congrats
After
to
just
those
starting
who-
yesterday?
Yeah, I played a lot.
Holy crap. Nice job.
Yeah, I played a lot. When I finally got to go, I took advantage.
You went, okay.
Yeah, I
on a
played
s-
from 1:30 to 7 this morning, unlocking my job and getting my unicorn and
Yeah, but
all
you were
that
20
stuff.
already, right?
He was too
Oh,
before he
okay.
started. Yeah.
After
But
yesterday,
I played more than he did this weekend, so he definitely surpassed me in the mass levelage in the shortest amount of time. But anyways, it was great. And then we had some people find out that what their subclass was supposed to be was not.
Oh,
So at the
yeah,
last minute, they
sucks.
had to go level something completely from scratch to level 15. That kind of was bleh. But hey,
Yeah.
it's a new
Yeah, I'm gonna
game,
need some
new
explanation
info.
on Chap's tip of the week when we get down
Oh,
to that
yeah,
part.
yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
I'm looking at it going, I don't understand what he's saying. But you know, I'm the person who did not read any of the Final Fantasy forums, so it's okay.
Right. On my last note for Final Fantasy, I would like to thank everybody in TGC for making this launch one of the strongest the guild launches for TGC to date. Also, a special thanks goes out to AirRev and Q for working so hard before the launch to get us here. I really couldn't have done it without you guys, and our success is 100% because of those three. They are really why we have so many strong numbers. I helped, but those three really hit it hard and got
Yeah.
us
You've
here.
done a good
So,
job.
yeah, they
It
did
was
an
very
awesome job.
organized and it was awesome. So y'all did a wonderful job. Yay, guys!
Awesome. For Rift.
Yeah.
Much news this week. We're still waiting for 2.4, which we're now told. Well, we kind of knew before. They've hinted at being released in September. 2.4 is going to bring 2 new raids, 2 20-man raids, and it's either going to be a tier 220 followed by a tier 320. I believe that's what they're going to be doing. And along with that, they're going to be changing the raid currency from what it is now. Frozen Eclipse will drop down and become the same stuff you get out of Expert Dungeons, and then the current raid gear, probably when Tier 3 is introduced, because there's already a Tier 2 in, when that comes in, it'll get its own currency, and then all the stuff that's currently there now will drop down to the same stuff you'll be able to get with dailies. So it'll help people gear up faster and start getting through, which is good for us, because we started 6 months after Storm Legion playing and gearing up and getting ready to raid.
Yeah, it's really come
So-
through fast.
So the zone event started. We talked about it's invasion in Scarfield Reach,
Yeah,
and,
Scarfield Reach is where we were.
Moonblade. We did one. We got in real quick, and it failed as we've zoned in, so we didn't get to see it. I don't know that anyone's really gotten to run them or has remembered because they're low level. They're like level 30, and so if you don't remember, we don't check the level 30 zones. So if you're not watching for the event, and you're like, and we were tracking it it was easier to track it on our phones than it was to try to figure out in game if it was going on.
Yeah.
So we've done one. No one got any drops, and as far as I know, no one in the guild has said that they've gotten the Sapphire Kirin or any of the cloaks and stuff that drop. Most of the other news for Rift is basically various interviews saying stuff that we talked about on last week's podcast. So I'm not going to rehash them about Scott Hartzman's plans for Tryon, what they're looking to do, and that other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. And this week in Tempest, though, we produced a Volon video, which is a world boss. It's about 24 minutes long. It is up on YouTube.
That was a fun fight. It was
Yeah,
really
I
Good
cool.
watched it.
80s music, hairband rock
Yeah, I was like,
for
yes.
the soundtrack.
I watched
So
it. That guy
that's
looks
in there.
really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome when you get up close.
And to
it was
be
really
in the
fun
fight
doing
is
it.
really epic too. Like it feels
It's really fun to-
cool.
Yeah, go in there and turn your UI off and do the fight. It's fun.
Yeah, that guy looked really
So-
cool. I checked out the fight. It looked good.
Yeah, it was good. And then we went into Hammernell this week, killed 5 bosses in there for fun and achievements. It was cool. And the first time we did Xylus, he killed us. So we sacrificed an effigy in Harper's name, and we never got hit by the beam again. And then
Y'all got revenge on him, right?
oh
For
yeah,
everybody?
yeah,
Good.
it was quick after that.
Awesome.
We did hours and hours of experts and group PvP this week. We
Oh,
were kind of worried
yes.
when it came raid time on Sunday. It was like our last practice raid before we officially start raiding.
Uh-huh.
But it's the same raid that we're going to be doing. So we wanted to just get in and look at it. And we were kind of concerned whether Final Fantasy was going to pull our raiders away, even though they're like, we're primary Rift. We just want to go play some Final Fantasy. And it's an exciting weekend for game launch.
Yeah.
But everyone showed up. We had 14 members ready to go. We got our 10, went in there. Had some issues with the first boss, got him down. One shot the second boss. Got to the third boss, and we spent about an hour working the mechanics on him. We've got it down now, and it'll be easy. So we downed 3 bosses out of 4, and we were out of time then.
That's awesome.
So we're expecting the first night, hopefully first night of raid, September 3rd, that they'll have a full clear, which would be awesome.
That's good. Good
So,
job.
and that's it for Rift. Guild Wars 2.
All right, Guild Wars 2 news this week is a short story posted on the guildwars2.com website with the subject of What Scarlet Saw, which is the title of the story. It's really long and in-depth story, and there's not going to be spoilers here, so if you want to go check it out, you can go read it. I read it. It's pretty good. ArenaNet, developer of Guild Wars 2, commemorates their record-breaking first year by having a free trial of their game this past weekend, which I hope some of the TGC members took advantage of. They also released a Guild Wars 2 Heroic Edition, which includes the base games with a Heroic Pack, which is loaded with some useful items for new players. The Guild Wars 2 Heroic Edition includes a game, as well as the Heroic Pack, which includes a number of digital items for new players. 1 Legacy armor, players can adventure in style with the classic armor, an 18-slot Mithril box, and 10 experience boosters. So,
Nice.
sounds pretty good. They're trying to seem to get some new players in from a free weekend and then say, okay, we've got an additional pack for you guys if you want to come aboard. And I believe it's the same price as the game, so
That's cool.
that's really cool. This week in Guild Wars 2, members of TGC focused on the exciting new Clockwork Chaos content. Skay completed her map completion, earning her Master's Explorer
congrats,
Guild
Skay.
Award. That is
That's
not
awesome.
it's not an easy task. It takes a long
No.
time. Clockwork Chaos brought some zone-wide invasions of Tyria, which Daimos words they fought off waves of creepy-looking steampunk mobs. And members grouped together throughout the week to push through these events. If successful, they were able to kill Skyla Briar.
Nice. All right, let's go over to minor games.
Your hate moves like a freight train, steady with a heavy weight, barreling down for many years.
And Blizzard World of Warcraft news.
Yes, from GamesCon 2013, they really showcased the expansion for Diablo 3. the Reaper of Souls. They are releasing a pre-expansion patch, which is said to include Paragon 2.0, which basically takes away the level cap for Paragon, so you can infinitely level your
Oh,
characters.
nice.
Yeah, they're also releasing Loot 2.0, which means that when you're out farming, the loot that there's a higher percentage of loot that drops for your character. So it's like a smart loot, which is what EverQuest 2 has in place, which is amazing. So it's kind of neat that they're trying to do that. It's too bad they don't do it in WoW, which would be great, but at least they're trying to do it in something. So it'll be interesting to see if people do see an increase in drops for their class. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It gets me excited when people try to move towards good ideas and instead of just being with
It always amazes me that World of Warcraft couldn't figure that one out.
right.
That-
I agree.
I mean, in Rift it's easy because you got 4 classes, and you're very, very rarely you're going to go. You can't really raid without having at least one of each class in there. But in World of Warcraft, you'll go into a raid and you may not have a shaman, and you can get 4 out of 5 bosses drawing
Yep.
shaman gear.
Yeah.
It's like, how hard is it to write an if then? If there are no shaman, remove this column from the loot consideration.
I don't know, but in EverQuest
I
2,
don't
when we
know.
raided, it always dropped. I mean, yeah, we had big raids, and they always usually had a class there that could use it. But even in dungeons, it was the same way. It was always something for somebody in there. Whether they
Yeah.
needed it or not was a different question. But it was
Sure.
always something somebody could use. So
Yeah.
I don't understand if EverQuest 2 can do it, why other people can't. Because,
Yeah.
you know. And what they're trying to do is gear everybody up for the expansion, which is coming out next year. And the level cap will be raised to 70. They will be, oh my gosh, they will be allowing us the use of a mystic, which is basically giving you a transmog.
Are you talking about Diablo still?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I went back to Diablo.
I was like, level cap 70 in WoW,
Yeah,
aren't we?
no, we're in
Okay.
Diablo 3 still. I'm talking about the expansion because there's no really WoW news to talk about. And just that they're getting ready for 5.4. But anyways, back to Diablo. And they have a Mystic NPC that you can use, which will allow you to transmog your gear. Also, respec your gear, so it'll have, if something drops stat-wise that you can't use, then you can re-roll the stats to make it work for you.
Okay.
They're
So
also,
if you re-roll the stats, can you still sell it in the auction house?
I'm sure you can. I don't know. I haven't heard about that.
That seems like
But-
a really.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Re-roll,
I-
yeah.
Stats and crank it up and then sell it on the auction house for $250.
They're also
that'd be
releasing the new Crusader class, which is like a paladin, and they're carrying a shield and all that stuff. I saw the gameplay video, and it looks pretty epic. So those are some really big things coming up with the expansion. And like I said, that's about it as far as Blizzard.
I think what I'm. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think what I'm really looking forward to is getting the video footage from BlizzCon from all our Final Fantasy folks now, because everyone who's going to BlizzCon is a Final Fantasy member,
Yeah, I know.
including officers. So I'm really looking. I can't wait to see the video footage of what you guys do there. Interacting.
What
with people,
happens at
talking to,
BlizzCon
stuff goes
stays
on.
at BlizzCon.
Hey, look, you don't have to take it into your hotel room where you guys are all drinking. But when you're in BlizzCon, you should be able to do something.
Yeah.
You should have some TGC stuff to get some. We should be getting some guild interest here.
Yeah,
Guild interest, podcasts.
I have
Yeah.
some ideas on that.
Somebody better dress up like a Lala. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that would be funny.
All right, we're gonna go. We have no ambassador game news this week. We're gonna go to alpha beta news. And we start with WildStar.
Yay. Carbine released their crowd control video, and as usual, their video was hilarious. I mean, I don't know what it is about the way that they do them. They're just silly and fun, and I like their videos. I really do. It's basically they're talking about how crowd control is going to be pretty heavy in the game, but you also have lots of ways of breaking out of it than in other games. So like they showed, if you get disarmed, your weapon will be thrown away from you, and you can just roll back to pick it up. You don't have to wait till till the debuff wears off. If you get stunned, you can hit the F key, and it can break you out of your stun.
Chap, are you still there?
Yeah.
We lost your video.
I lost video.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. And then also, just, there's like different ways that you can get out of it. Also, it's going to take some practice, and it'll be fun in PvP because you won't get insta-stunned and stay there forever. So, maybe not. Anyways, we'll see. But it should be. I enjoyed the video, and it kind of got me excited that they're really trying to be add a little bit more to your gameplay. So, we'll just have to wait and see on that. There he is.
Like that on-the-fly recovery.
Hey, did you get me
He's
back?
probably like, why did he hang on me? He hung up on me. So. All right. Tezo.
Yes. They released that they are having a subscription for gameplay. So another one bites the dust for free-to-play hopes. A lot of people are upset about it, but a lot of people are understanding. I don't know. I feel like so many people are hung up on the free-to-play thing because there have been so many good launches.
Yeah.
Subscriptions are also still a viable thing, I feel. So I'm kind of on the fence about that. I mean, I have to see. The problem they run into is if they're going to put a subscription game out, they're going to have the content worth playing 3 months after the game launches. They're going to have to keep adding things to it, keep it interesting, making it worth paying for. That's what happened with SWTOR. That's what happened with Terra. I think they all initially want to do subscriptions to pay for the game, to pay for all the time and money, the investors and everything, get all that paid off, and then they roll into the free to play. I'm not sure that Bethesda will do that, but we'll just have to see on that.
Yeah, it's an interesting move from them because, their fan base, I don't know if that's going to support having a monthly subscription. We're talking about these guys that play Elder Scrolls games, Skyrim, and all these other games. They're not used to paying, a monthly fee. That's an interesting pull. I wasn't expecting that. I expected that game to be
I was shocked too.
free.
But I feel like the people that are really into that game will pay whatever they have to pay to play it.
Yep.
And
it's any
So
intellectual property.
And also, exactly. Also, they were voted best game MMO from Gamescom this year, which kind of shocked me. Because there were some other games that were in that category, and they beat them out. So they won 2 different categories this year.
Yeah.
So I was pretty shocked about that. They won best role-playing game, and where's the other one? Hold on. Anyways,
put it in the big notes.
Yeah, I'm looking at mine. They actually did pretty well. So they beat EverQuest Next. So there you go. They sure did.
Yeah, we had a big discussion on that on GTFO this last week, which is up on YouTube if anyone wants to go ahead and check it out. We talked about the pay-to-play argument versus free-to-play, and I think in the end it's just irrelevant. Play the game you want to play.
Yeah,
exactly.
Either you're going to pay for it or you don't. I think the big thing is we wanted to push is there's no need to bash other players for choosing to play one system or another. No,
not at all.
Gameplay is like eating dessert. You like it or you don't.
And I'll tell you,
somebody else
I'll tell you, Guild Wars 2 is completely free to play. It's after you purchase the game out of the box. And I spent more money in that game monthly than I ever have in a sub. I bought all kinds of crap. So you can say it's free to play all you want, but they're going to get their money one way or another.
Same way.
Yeah.
It's either are you going to pay for it up front and get your $15 worth, or are you going to pay for this and that? And Star Wars is a great example of that. You can't even get action bars without giving BioWare $20. It's ridiculous.
That's the number one complaint. It was the worst conversion.
It is so ridiculous.
Yes.
So, all right. Last news we have for this is ArcAge. News from Tryon this week. This is in a Scott Hartzman interview. It says they're continuing to work on the localization of the XL Games MMO is coming along. Tryon is only going to launch in the West when they feel that it's ready to go. And Tryon has pretty decent standards for what they do.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, so much so that they basically have put End of Nations on hold.
Right.
I mean, they're not even going to. I mean, it's on hold. They're not even going to drag players out. So they've got Defiance and Rift and now Arcade, and they said as soon as it's ready to go and both sides are satisfied with the way it looks, then it's going to launch. What do you mean? So it's obviously not going to be this year, but that's okay. It'll give it a good time for convert. I mean, there's a lot of lines. There's like tens of thousands of lines of text and conversation that they said they have to, like tens of thousands.
Wow.
That they have to basically translate from Korean over.
Oh,
That
wow.
is crazy.
So, yeah, we'll see. I don't know what system they're going to use for that, so we'll see. All right, Final Fantasy 2014. We are now up to 12 members. We'll be doing our draft on Sunday.
That's
So if
fantasy
anyone
football
else-
for you
if-
guys.
Did I
Sorry.
say Final Fantasy?
Yeah, you
did.
got Final Fantasy on the brain, Scriv.
You didn't even say
No.
football this time. You just said Final
It's
Fantasy.
Fantasy
2014.
football. God, I've been doing this for months. I can't wait till we're going.
Come over and play.
I don't have to say it anymore. All right, we have 8 slots open, but at this point, I can only add people in groups of 2. He won't let me do odd numbers, so we got to have groups of 2. So if anyone else wants to join, we still have until Sunday to do it. Actually, you have until Saturday.
Yeah.
Draft to be the end of my trash talking, blah, blah, blah. When Cirrhosis gets back, looks like we'll be automatic draft, so.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. How about tip of the week, Harper?
Well, my tip of the week comes from, you guessed it, Final Fantasy. Is there's a thing in the game called limit breaks, and we've all seen it up in the upper left column above the party window. And what that is you build the points based on how much damage the group does, not just yourself, but everybody. And once it's full, then you have a special ability based on your class that will contribute to either damage, healing, debuffing, and so on. So there's a lot of different things, and you need to know what yours is, because like the archer and the healers, ours is a heal, which is strange. And so you would think that the archer would have some really nice, badass, big, hit to the boss, but it's not that way. But anyways, what you do is you need to coordinate with, like, especially before the boss fights and even in the dungeon, so you don't use the limit break just because the bar is full. You want to coordinate with your people on when to use it. Pretty soon, you won't even have to coordinate. You'll just know when to use it. But it's a very useful tool to help bring down a boss quick. If you're running out of time, running out of health, it really does come in handy. So talk about limit break, plan it, use it, love it.
And some of them are visually awesome.
Oh, yeah.
They look
yeah.
amazing.
Uh-huh.
Awesome.
Mine's lame. I wish mine was cooler. It's not.
It's a heal.
I know.
Chap, what do you got?
Mine tip of the week is going to be because the dynamic leveling system, where you generally only need one character to get through all the classes in Final Fantasy. You don't need to make any alts. You can basically take one character and level all the classes all the way to 50. You want to be sparingly with your quests. You want to save your quests for other classes. So it's real tempting when you zone into a new city, because I think at 15 you get an airship quest and they start sending you around to the other cities. It's real tempting to start picking those quests up. You want to leave those quests alone and stick to your main story quest, stick to your class quest and the quests from the start line where you finished in your city, and leave those quests in those other cities and the other areas for your other supporting classes. That way you don't run out of content for them. That way when you switch over, because everybody's going to have at least 2 classes if you want to have a job. So, save those quests for your other classes. That way, you don't run out of stuff to do, and you're not, just grinding mobs over and over again, because nobody likes to do that.
Well, I have a question then on that.
Yeah.
Since I've got the guild leader here. Okay, so Final Fantasy. So when you get to 15 and you get the airship quest, and at 10 they already told you can gain your second class.
Mm-hmm.
Can you get them both at 15-15?
Yeah, you can level any class as long as the thing is though is you get an experience bonus based on your other class. So for instance, if you have a level 20 and you have a level 10, your level 10 gets the experience bonus. So whatever your main is, you don't want to go past that. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're actually going to get more experience by doing your story and your class quest. Now,
I was just curious, based on what you had just said for the quests, if I'm going to go, like, I'm in a hurry, I guess I'm not in a hurry. I'm anxious to go grab the second class because it's kind of something you can switch back and forth. I like that. I really like that system.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to get to 15, get that quest done. I want to go over and grab that second class.
yeah.
And based on what you just said, should I just stay there and just do the quest in that city's area? on the second quest if that's what I'm looking to do?
It depends on if you're. See, some people get unlucky because their second quest starts in the same city that their
Yes, and
first
that
quest
is
line
not
starts
good.
in.
Oh,
And-
yeah, mine does not.
And
Yeah.
so,
But I
so
understand
you're
what you're
lucky.
saying, yeah.
you see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you have, there's a group of like, I don't know, 20, 25 quests inside the city that will get you to level 8 or 9. It also gives you the starting gear for your class, which is really nice. So what I'm
Okay.
saying is some people get unlucky because like both of their classes are in Gridania or both of their classes are in Ulda, and there's nothing you can do about that. But if you are going to level another class, just save those quests in those cities
Got
for
it.
that other experience.
Because
Cool.
you can't do the storyline twice. Your main
Right.
story is your main story on whatever,
Now,
you know,
now they are,
so go
they
ahead.
do make it easier because, like I said, whatever, for instance, if you have a level 20 and a level 10, your level 10 gets an experience booster. And then the more classes you level to 50, the more experience boost you get. So if you have two
Okay.
at level 50 and you start over again at level 0, the leveling process is going to be way, way easier.
Oh, is that to make up for the lack of the quests?
Well, I think no one wants to. I think it's really because no one wants to grind 10 classes.
Mobs.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
hit it with a hammer, hit it with a hammer, hit it with
Believe
a hammer.
me, I
People are
did
gonna
it
leave.
without the bonus, and it is a pain in the butt.
1,700,000 boars.
Yeah, so I think
Okay.
I think they're just, and you know what's great about that is the fate system, which is basically their event system. It gives so much experience that when you get those bonuses, I mean, I started my pugilist right before we got online, and it maybe took me 2 to 3 hours to get to level 15.
What job are you going for?
Bard.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Which I hear
So-
I know Harper's a
amazing and
white witch.
Oh,
white
yeah.
witch, not
The
witch.
last
but-
thing I have for Final Fantasy tonight is we are going to assemble tomorrow night. Usually guild time is 9 o'clock Eastern. It'll be somewhere around in there. And I'd like to do a launch day photo to put up for the wiki. So anybody playing cross games or just have a, dabble in Final Fantasy, if you could come over, I'll post it on the website. Come over, get your picture taken, and we'll put it up on the wiki page for the launch day.
Nice.
Cool.
All right, my
That's
tip
fun.
of the week comes from Rift.
Woohoo!
And it's do your PvP dailies if you're at all interested in PvP. And the reason I say that is because the amount of XP and bonuses you get out of doing those dailies will help you get to 50 quick, and which they kind of shortened anyways. But once you get to 50 to 60 is, from what I'm looking at, is the longest gear grind because you're not going to gain any more gear. But when you get to Prestige, I'm talking Prestige. When you get to Prestige 60, your quest rewards for doing your dailies starts including the currency you need to buy the new gear. Where I
Oh,
was
nice.
looking at, oh, it's going to take a month and a half to grind out this gear. It takes like a week to get a couple of pieces by doing the dailies. So
That's cool.
It kind of helps. And then when you hit Prestige 70, you start getting the marks, huge, like 300, I think, of the Warlord marks at a time. So the same thing. So you will actually gear up pretty quick doing your dailies. Of course, you have to win. So you might have
Yeah.
to jump over and be a guardian because they were kicking our ass for 3 weeks straight now.
Yes, they have been.
Yeah, like not even close. And we've won some, but yeah, it's losing a lot more. I want to go back and say one more thing. Console game challenge. As you said, as we know, this month I'm getting feedback. I've seen at least one thread in our forums talking about Splinter Cell Blacklist is supposedly awesome, and that is our August game. If you're looking to get a head start on September, is no surprise that we knew that Madden 25 was going to be the September game, and it's released tomorrow. So if you want to get a head start on that, of course, we haven't said what the challenge is, but Madden will be the game for September if you want to get some practice in. And I know Isaac is interested in getting an online Xbox Madden League going.
Oh,
We
cool.
all have to play the same thing, so that'd be fun. So at least the Cowboys and Giants will be playing in there. So he and I will be talking trash
That
as
is
we do in every show
guaranteed.
and everything that we do.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, any last comments, questions from the
I just
gallery?
no, I mean I've pretty much been keeping up with the thing, but I just want to say again, thanks Shap for getting your team organized. Air,
Definitely.
Rev, Quist, y'all all did a fantastic job this weekend. Y'all kept calm, y'all kept cool, y'all got things moving, and I really appreciate that. And it was nice being a spectator and being on the outside looking in, and it was great. Y'all just did a fantastic job, and
Yep.
I can't wait to see what else we do. So.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
Nice job, everyone.
Everyone keep your chins up. Final Fantasy is going to get better, okay? I promise.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's great. It's just
Yeah.
servers are broken.
All right, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us this week. You can leave any feedback on the website, tempestgamecast.com. Send an email to tempestgamecast@gmail.com, and you can follow us on Twitter at tempestgamecast. If you're interested in joining the Tempest Gaming Community, you can visit tempestguild.us. Recruiting videos are hosted on YouTube, as well as a bunch of other videos. Tempest Game Community. We hope you guys have a great week gaming and look forward to seeing you in your game of choice.
Have a great week, everybody.